Well, I tell you, what a week it's been, and it's only Tuesday. Hey, how's it going? I hope you are having a fantastic couple of weeks. I have been in a time of great change. As always, it feels like I'm always going through some kind of change. But right now, I feel like I am really finally, after God, 10 years, I've been focusing on growing listen to me, my business, growing myself, getting ready for that next big thing, but always feeling like I'm kind of stuck and I'm not really going anywhere. So I don't know if anybody else can relate to that, but man, I tell you, it's been a long journey. I've been doing the type of work, consulting work, helping people dream again for a long time. But I would say the last 10 years has been the most consequential in terms of finding my own voice and finding my own direction and really getting ready for my next big life change. And it's not just professionally, it's personally. And so I'm just going to tell you guys a little bit about some of the steps and what I've been doing to get ready for this major life change. So, what is it for me really? The catalyst of my change, and you guys have been kind of seeing it, right? I'm dressing a little differently. I'm wearing more makeup, maybe. I'm trying to show up being ready. Today, you'd laugh if you saw what I'm wearing. I'm half in fitness clothes. And then I thought, you know what? I want to look like I'm ready to go. So I'm going to throw a blazer on too, maybe put a little bit of lipstick on. Why? Because that's all part of my vision of what I want for myself. So let's start with my business. I really want to I love the community work I do, but it really burns me out. It's so much, and I love all of the work I do. But like anyone, you need to grow. You need to do different things and you need to work with different people. So don't worry, communities, I'm not done with that yet. What I am interested though is finding a tribe, finding people like myself. And I say tribe loosely because I'm Indigenous, but what I mean is a group of people, a large group of people that want to be on the same journey or are on the same journey as I am, and that make me want to be a better person, that lift me up like you do. You know, that's why I do this every week, because it gives me something to work to be better at every single week. And am I? Oh, geez, I'm doing it every week. I'm doing it. Except last week I didn't show up, and that's okay. Life happens. Things get in the way, but that's really my commitment to this new me, this next evolution of myself. So, what is this business? I've been hinting about it. I've been talking about doing these retreats, and I've been talking about doing a lot more with women in leadership specifically. And again, don't worry, if you don't manage an organization, I've said it a million times before, it's not about that. It's people that want to be in charge of their own business. If you're paying your bills, putting a roof over your head, if you are dancing to your own tune, then that's what I'm talking about. And if you're not and you want to, well, this is for you too. But most of my life has been spent where other people hire me, right? So I get a call or an email from a First Nations community, a for-profit organization. We need a little bit of help, Sam. So then I get pulled, I get invited in. And as I get pulled in, it's my desire to work with the community, but I really get invited in to come and do this work. I've been talking for 10 years about starting these retreats or doing something else for really people like me that really are raring to go and get into that next phase, but keep getting stuck. And I've noticed a lot of it is my undiagnosed ADD, but it's also just my imposter syndrome, all the things that I talk about every week. My I'm a great goal setter, but a lot of times I don't do the habits every day that I need to move through them. I also get scared about pulling the trigger because what if it's the wrong thing? What if I mess it up? But the fact is, that's learning. How do you learn? You make mistakes sometimes and they don't quite work out the way that you want it to. So that has really been part of my journey. And I thank the people that are on the journey with me right now for being so patient and so kind and really helping me figure this out, because it's scary to do new things. It's scary to move away from something that you've known for your whole life to move towards something that maybe I'm not ready for, but I'm going to be ready. right? That's what growth is. So continually having this growth mindset and realizing that it's okay to be scared and it's okay not to be perfect all the time because no one is. That's a fallacy. Kick that crap to the curb, right? There is no perfect. There is only step by step learning every single day. So, what have I been doing to get ready? How have I made it to this point? Because as I've been mentioning, and I'm going to get better at it, I finally booked my first retreat, and it's going to be on Vancouver Island in Parksville at a place called Tinamera. It's going to be September 15th to the 17th. We're going to have about 18 superstar women there coming together to basically create or to work on their own personal strategic plan. It's about creating a vision. It's about knowing what your values are and being able to um, say them out to the world and have them impact the way that you live your life and do your business and who you choose to spend time with, what you spend your money on, those types of things. You also need your mission, right? So, mission, vision, what do I want to create in my life? Who do I want to be? Values, who do I need to be able to make that vision come true? Or you may say, I know what my values are, and now it's time to find a vision that fits who you are and who you want to be at your core. And then finally, we need to figure out, or not finally, next we need to figure out what your mission is. Mission is how are we going to accomplish the vision, right? So it's another piece of who do I have to be to make this happen? Because if you want to do big things, a lot of times there's things that we have to change in ourselves and commit to doing to be able to move towards that goal. So, and then finally, setting up some strategic goals and some strategic habits. What are the things that I need to do, the big goals that I have? How do I break those down into smaller goals? And what are the habits that I need to accomplish, do every day to make sure that I'm meeting the milestones? So, milestones, I've got a goal in 6 months. Where do I need to be at 1 month, 2 month, 3 month, 4 month, 5 month, 6 month? But even more important, what do I need to be doing on day one, day two, day three, day four, week 8, so on and so forth, right? That's the problem why a lot of times goals don't come true is because we keep putting them off and we don't break them down. That's what I do. I just have a big giant to-do list every day that is just a never-ending list. But today I'm breaking them down a little bit smaller. And I'm also looking at my list for the week. So I don't have to put everything that I need to do for the week in one spot. I can put that out over 7 days. So getting back to that, what's the first thing that I had to do about, for me, my business? But it's all my life change. My business is my personal life too. It's how I do little things is how I do everything. So I want you to think about that. If you go, oh no, that's just work, or no, that was just, a fun thing that I do on the side. So that's why I didn't really commit to it. What I tell you is that is generally how you will do most things then. If you're not willing to commit to the little things that you love and that you enjoy, how are you going to commit to the big things that are going to take work and effort for you to get there? So a lot of people will say, geez, Anne, you're pretty hyper, you're pretty excitable, yeah, because I believe that's what I want to call into my life to be able to have the enthusiasm to overcome obstacles that get in my way of my goals. Because man, there's going to be a lot of them, right? That's life. But my enthusiasm, my excitement, and my passion, and my joy, and my vision are what's going to keep me on track. So clarifying my vision has been really the first part of this is really what do I want my life slash business to look like? I'm tired of being on the road all the time and I miss out on time from my family when I'm not with them. So how can I create more digital income, online income, and then save myself my road trips for when I really need to be there? So it's important to know. And then the second piece for me, I already know, so I'm trying to figure out what is my vision. So I want to be with my family more. I want to be traveling less. Or if I am traveling, I want it to be to places that I want to be. I also want to be on bigger stages. I'm really focusing on motivational speaking and public speaking. And I've always known I've wanted that because that I'm an unfulfilled actor. And for me, doing an 8-hour workshop, I love it. But with my energy level, I am so burnt out at the end of the day. And I don't often feel like 8 hours is what is my best game when I have a large group of people. So I really love it when I can do speaking for an hour to 2 hours. That's when I can pour everything that I have in. So that's been a big part of it, is growing that piece of my business, and I'll come to that in a bit about developing my brand here. But I really need to figure out what that looks like for me. So these retreats, these women's retreats, really are important. Why? Because I need to nourish my own soul. I want to be around people that are excited about life too, and are like, what's next? What are we going to grow together? And so it's been figuring out who my target audience is. I know who my, community base, but if I want to grow in a different way, well, who do I want to be on my journey? I want at these retreats, and I'll just use that as an example. I'm like, well, who can be? Because at first it was like, well, anybody can come. No, anyone can't come. So I'm looking at targeting probably, see, I'm still nervous about it. Today is the day. Don't worry about it. I'm going to be unleashing some info for you. My goal is to have women from 45 to 60 that are interested in creating their own strategic plan so that they can evolve into that next version of themselves. And that could be personally or professionally. Right? I want to speak to women right now. A lot of my messaging is going to be for people where I'm at right now and how I'm feeling. So my message isn't always going to reflect with everyone, and that's okay because it isn't for everyone all the time. All right. So, clarifying my vision has been a huge one, and really creating a map for my business growth, which also means my personal growth. So, showing up, working out, getting more sleep, doing some of these things to take care of myself a little bit more, right, is super important part of this vision. And then I touched base a little bit about it. I like to call it developing my brand. So the next 2 points kind of hit together. I've got developing my brand and building my network, or hanging out with people who are smarter than me. So wanting to change my business, wanting to change how I feel and look and present in the world. So there's been several things. One, my dear friend Elaine Kwan, who's a fashion consultant, she helped me kind of get my brain back on about looking good, showing up, and shopping in my own closet, but really just about being more intentional about what am I going to wear today? And I can throw on sweats just as easily as I can throw on something cute and maybe a dress or something else, right? Like I said, that's why I told you about you'd laugh. I'm just going to stand up and show you. For those of you who can see me, I'm wearing my exercise clothes on the bottom. I've got my blazer on the top. Potty on the top, or business on top, potty on the bottom, right? But that's part of being ready. It's not always perfect, right? So having a fashion person help me. I have my wonderful friend Valinda, who takes care of my face and vitality, and Dr. Malpass, my plastic surgeon. I work closely with them to make sure. I've got my lovely eyelash lady, Mel, I love you, baby. I've got my massage therapist, Tony. I've got my hairdresser, Amanda. Man, I've got a lot of people in my posse. But what has that been? It's about, and then I'll move into my next person, Laura, here. But well, yeah, and Laura, she's my branding coordinator who has been helping me. I was going to put you in the next one, but I'm just going to put you out there because that's really what my next piece has been, is about redeveloping my brand. I've done a couple of rebrands in my life. And for me, when I say rebrand, it's just not about my logo and my website. It's about my message. It's about how I look. It's about how I feel about myself. Any one of you can do a rebrand right now. Do a rebrand. Who do you want to be? That's what personal strategic planning is about. It's about going, who do I want to be next? What do I want to look like? How do I want to feel? It's the most important piece. What am I willing to do to make that happen? All right. So I'm really focused right now on creating this strong, cohesive brand that reflects my mission, values, personality. And that includes my logo, my website, my clothing, my social media presence, but also just the messages, the self-talk, the affirmations that I'm giving myself every day. You can do this. You can do this. And then I mentioned about building this network and hanging out with people that are smarter than you. And that's always been very intimidating to me because I feel like, what do those people need with me? I need to be there to help people, and I don't need any help. And who am I to ask to do that type of thing? So it's been so important for me to start really looking, and a big person for me right now is my branding recreator. I don't know. She's got many names. She's also a spiritual guide for me. But my friend Laura, she's really smart about marketing and branding. But she's really smart about marketing from the soul and heart centered marketing and branding. So every time I get trying to do something that's maybe not authentic, that's too fast, that's the old way of doing things, she gives me, she pulls me back and says, is this really the direction you want to go in? And it's hard. It's hard to hear these messages sometimes. But thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, creator. Thank you, whoever you believe is out there. Or maybe it's just our awesome energy. Thank you for coming into my life. All of these people. Thank you for having patience with me. Oh, and my wonderful counselor. For the first time in my life, I started therapy. And with my other lovely friend, Linda. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You're a blessing. She's going to be on here with me after I'm done. So all of these things that I've always been like, I'm not going to do, I'm doing. I'm looking at getting a personal trainer next. And yeah, is all this stuff expensive? Yes. And you don't do it overnight. It's been a slow process of building. And but that's what you need. If you want to get better, you need to hang out with people that are smarter and have more skills than you do. That's it, right? That's how you sharpen that saw and get stronger, smarter, faster, right? Whatever that thing is, wiser. And that comes into the next piece, which is expanding my expertise and developing my mindset. That's been a huge part of it. And I'm still struggling with it. That's why I'm such a blessing to have Linda and Laura and all of the people I've mentioned, because especially Linda and Laura, because they're really helping me keep my mindset focused right now, because I am all over the place. And it's trauma, it's my ADD brain, it's my excitement and my enthusiasm. I'm kind of like a wild puppy dog sometimes. But that's what I really am focusing on. So what does that look like? I've been taking courses. I am doing workshops myself. I'm not good for long ones, but I'm listening to, different things online that I'm seeing come up, and watch YouTube videos. Podcasts are a huge one for me. Instead of just listening to music all the time, I listen to a lot of podcasts. And then people say, what do you listen to? Well, Chalene Johnson, Chalene Johnson. She's the used to be a Beachbody lady. She was like Turbo Fire and Pio and all that. Now she's just a super business guru and a great mindset. But I listen to, oh geez, I can't remember. Maybe what I'll do is I'll put a few of the links to the podcasts that I listen to in the notes of this after. I won't try to distract myself. See, even that focus, but I can give you some ideas. And if you're interested, then drop a note or DM me and I can send you some recommendations as well. But change that mindset, my friend. You've got to. And that also means, as I said earlier, hanging out with other people that are smarter than you and challenge you. And that's what I say. Thank you, Laura. You are so amazing. And Linda, it's just two people that really are in my life for a reason now, to challenge my old ways of thinking and my own beliefs about myself. So you are a blessing to me. Then the next piece of it is developing my digital presence and creating powerful content. And really, that's about self-talk. I know that's directly related to my entrepreneurs, but it's also when you see what I'm putting out there in terms of, I'm trying to bring people to me for the things that I'm doing, the people that are attracted to my message. So it's really important that that message is reflected in everything that I do and I say. You got to walk the talk. You can't just say that I want change and then not do anything to change. Does that make sense? And that's what I've kind of spent my life doing. Going, yeah, I want to change. And then going back to the same way of doing things. You seriously. And you can't say you want it and then hold yourself hostage because of trauma, because of someone you love that's gone now, because of well, I tried that 3 times and it blew up in my face, man. I'm telling you, I don't know how to say it to you. There's only hopelessness if you're hopeless. So I need you to keep fighting, and I need you to keep swimming as hard as you can to get to where you want to be, because that's what life is. So, and that may mean if you're like dealing with things. And that may be meaning getting the medicine. It may be getting the counseling. It may be listening to the podcast. It may be finding new friends. It may be getting out of that bad relationship. It may be pushing yourself to get that new job, or, you know what I mean? Like, have value in yourself and start to love yourself and realize that you deserve it. Okay. That's what I want for all of us. And then another final piece of it, I got two quick pieces here and then I'll let you go. One has been really embracing my identity. And there's a few pieces of my identity, and it's you too. It's who you really want to be. So first of all, it's figuring out, who do I want to be? What's my vision? What are my values? How am I going to do that? Then, and once you decide that that's who you want to do, embrace that. Don't be scared of it. I've been dabbling in this, like I talked about sexuality my last session, and how I've been scared, and I didn't want to trigger anyone. It's no one's that. Everybody's story is their own, and that's my story. That's part of my journey, is being able to accept and love myself and not be afraid to be out in the world as my beautiful, sexy, confident self. That's been the biggest piece of embracing my identity. It's also being aware that not everybody's going to resonate with my message. People are going to get offended by what I say without my intention. People that liked my message a certain way aren't going to like it now and are going to run and be like, why did Zan change? What's wrong with her? Right? All of these things are part of it, but it's about embracing your identity. It's about embracing who you are and who you want to be. And a huge part of that for me is embracing my Indigenous identity and my non-Indigenous identity. I always felt more an alignment to my Indigenous identity because that's who kind of was my immediate, raised me, my two moms. But then I also realized that my non-Indigenous self is just as valuable and important. And really, that's the message. So I'm going to be starting a podcast, and I haven't quite kicked the name around for it yet, but it's really about sharing the perspective of being an Indigenous and non-Indigenous person out in the world, an urban person, and what that looks like, and hopefully share some stories with other people, and maybe help build some understanding, some connections where there weren't before. But that's really about embracing my heritage, my culture, my values, and sharing my story and being proud of who I am and what I stand for. And that's what I want for you. Okay? And then finally, my last piece of advice, my last thing that I had to do, take a freaking chance and do the freaking thing. What does that mean? I've actually talked about doing this retreat for years. I opened my fitness studio years ago, and I'd had little mini ones. If anybody remembers my urban retreats, they would be 4-hour things. And it was this is an easy, safe way. And if no one shows up, I can do it. I booked another place in Prince George before, and I canceled out and I lost money on it. I just wasn't ready. Well, this one, I did the thing. I booked this resort. It's freaky. I've already put out a crap ton of money on it. But you know what? It's time for me to take a chance and do the thing. Life's ticking, my friends. It's passing you by and it's passing me by. So do it. It's time. And if you need help, I'm here for you. All right? Direct message me, reach out, comment on this video. Let me know if this is your time. Okay? I can't read your mind. Let me know what it is you need. Okay? And if this retreat sounds like the thing for you and that you might be interested in hearing more, don't worry about it. You're not going to get tied into it forever. But if you want to get on the wait list for details, and we're getting ready. Like I said, I'm just finalizing the cost and all the things right today. If you want to get on the wait list, and all you're going to do is get a series of emails letting you know early access. I'll probably have some early bonuses for people that get involved right away. But you can go to zandraross.ca/retreat. Okay, Zandra Ross, ZANDRAROSS.ca /retreat, RETREAT, and get on the wait list, okay? Because I'm ready. I want to have us have a little bit of fun together and enjoy our lives. Mwah! And that's it. Women's retreat, personal development, just to get any of those are jumping on now. It's a personal development, strategic planning retreat for women. and it will be September 15th to the 17th at Taina Mara Resort in beautiful Parksville, British Columbia on Vancouver Island. Oh, my friends, you are in for a treat. I've stayed there several times before, and that's where I decided that's the place. All right. Mwah. I love you. Tune in. Let me know. Don't forget if you want to get on the wait list for the retreat. And don't worry, everybody else, if you're like, but I'm not a woman and I don't fit into that. Don't worry, baby. This is just the first step on a very beautiful and amazing adventure. And I promise you, let me know. What do you want to see? What would you like me to see create for you that would help you take that next venture in your life? Okay? Let me know. Love you. Talk to you soon. Have a fantastic week.